Tax time can feel overwhelming when you are running a virtual assistant business. There are expenses to review, tax decisions to make, and a new financial year to prepare for. But EOFY is not only about getting your tax sorted, it is also the perfect time to review your pricing, fix your systems, and build a more profitable business. Here are some of the biggest insights from Sol's EOFY Explained workshop.
And I've actually been thinking about that for the last 48 hours, and I think that's quite a great way of looking at it. I wanted to kind of gather your thoughts on, for VA specifically, like what have you seen in your experience? Like how do you make that switch and how do you actually become more proactive?
I think it does tie back to a lot of having systems and processes, because when we're reactive, we're obviously responding to what's in front of us in that immediate moment. But when we have systems and processes in place, we know the urgency is either real or not. So we're less reactive, if that makes sense, or we have that routine where every Monday we do our receipts and reconciliation. We know that that's going to happen. We don't need to worry about what's popping up on Thursday because we have our time set. And I would also consider looking ahead. So not just looking at now. What do I need to implement in my business in order to stop being reactive? Because when you're reactive, it means something's not working.
The other thing that, I've been thinking about quite a lot leading up, and it's getting close to the 30th of June now, but what would you say, Stephen and Julie, really make this time of year so crazy? We've spoken about systems, we've spoken about setting up a process. What happens if I haven't done that? What happens if I am 12 days away and I know it's coming, but I'm not really sure what to do and what action to take? Okay,
so I would just start to gather as much information as you've got. If you've got bank statements that you've used, and I'm assuming you're probably still using a manual system. So if you've got bank statements, go through them, start to mark out what was a business expense, go through all your drawers or the bottom of your ute or whatever it is, and get out any receipts that might have been put away or that you've put in a box or something like that. Try and get everything spread out, and just work out what's missing and what you need to track down. So a lot of places these days you can go back and get receipts. I know Officeworks, places like that, they do store things digitally, so that does help a little bit. And I guess the biggest thing would be to make a promise to yourself that from the 1st of July you're going to get organised electronically and sign up and get some software.
If I've done that, I've put everything into the accounting application, what that probably means is that I've now got a better overview and understanding and a clearer picture of the numbers that I have in my business. And Michael, I'm keen to get your advice here, and Kerry, you as well. I'm not sure who would be best to answer first, but what springs to mind straight away is, the different ways that I could probably price.
I mean, I always go with the approach of having sort of like a tiered pricing structure and really knowing what you're worth, and it sort of comes back to what I was talking about before in regards to if you become a specialist in one area, you can obviously charge more, right? I'll use the sort of analogy, it's a bad analogy, but like when you go to a restaurant and they do everything, whether it's steak, pizza, pasta, whatever, are you going to go to that restaurant or are you going to go to the steakhouse? You're probably just going to go to the steakhouse because they do steaks really well. I would say that's the same in business, right? Like focus on what you do very well. What is your skill set that you're really good at that other people can't compete with? And then that's how you can price yourself, right? If you become really, really good at one particular thing, price yourself accordingly, right? Rather than trying to do too much. And then you can market yourself better as well. Because from an SEO standpoint and, marketing standpoint, the more specific you get, the easier it is to market yourself.